Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Premium 4-bike rack here on our 2022 Ram 1500 Classic. Now the Premium is a 4-bike rack and a hanging style rack, which means the bike hangs by the frame here. That means we do want to avoid our carbon frame bikes because that will damage the frame. And with alternative frame bikes, we will probably need to pick up a bike adapter bar to ensure that it fits properly. One thing we don't need to worry about as much though is a kid's bike, because these arms actually narrow together at the end here. It's not a guarantee that your kid's bike will work, but that smaller frame size should have an easier time fitting through these arms and holding on here without the need for an adapter bar. So that's really great to see, and that's one of those things that makes the Premium here so unique. Aside from that though, we've got our 2 straps on top of the frame and our 3rd one on the seat post here for our anti-sway cradle, keeping that side-to-side movement down to a minimum. It isn't going to completely eliminate it, but that will limit your bike-to-bike contact. I'll go ahead and get the bike unloaded here by just pulling those straps off of the tabs here. We can tilt this rack away, but you can't do it with the bikes loaded. So once all those are undone, you can just lift up and start to kind of guide that bike off. Our specific bike here today, it's a bit of a snug fit, but you just have to kind of walk it back slowly but surely, and then we can set it to the side. You do have a total weight capacity for this bike rack at 180 pounds. For hanging style racks, that is actually pretty good. Works out to about 45 pounds per bike, so just make sure you're staying within that limit. And then I like to replace the straps. Now I did mention that this does tilt away from the truck. We have all of that down here. We've got a hand knob that I'll loosen. That basically just binds up the upright portion of the rack here. Then our pin and clip. And then lastly, this pull pin right here. It's a lot of steps to get this to tilt, but it's not too bad. And it all keeps it pretty secure at that hinge point. And you can see from here, we can't fully get the tailgate open. It starts to actually hit the rack right about here where it's almost all the way open, but not quite. The part it's touching is the plastic handle though, so some people might not mind that. I personally wouldn't do it if it were my truck. I'd just reach over the side of the bed rail and get what I need out of there. So just keep that in mind too. Another bike rack to look into would be the Yakima Ridgeback. That's a hanging style rack that can carry 4 bikes, and we didn't have any clearance issues with that one. I'll just reverse all the steps I did to undo it, and then we can see that's nice and tight again. We've got a portion for a cable lock right here, if we want to add that down the road. And let's get some measurements. It will stick out from the back of our truck a fair bit. Down here it's looking about 37 inches, but we can save some space. If the bikes are unloaded and we want to leave the rack on here for future use, we can just pull this pin and retaining clip up top, fold those arms down, and re-secure it with those newly aligned holes. This is going to condense the rack down to about 13 inches added to the back. So that's a lot more condensed, a lot less obtrusive. With it like this, we do have some good visibility for our backup camera. It kind of lines up right here with the hole in the rack. You will definitely see it and it will obstruct your view, but it shouldn't be impossible to see. At the bottom, we're working with a ground clearance of about 18 3/4 of an inch. Pretty good. I don't think you'll have any issues with that because it does sit pretty close to the truck here. And then at the hitch, we can see it's working with a 2" by 2" receiver tube and comes with an anti-rattle bolt. And overall, I think the CURT Premium is pretty nice. If you're looking at this for a family bike rack where you're going to have kids' bikes, I like it because it's going to work with those kids' bikes out of the box more than likely, and it's just going to be a little bit simpler to get set up. I think it's going to be a good fit for your Ram here, and if you need that tilting function for full bed access, check out the Yakima Ridgeback. Thanks for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.